What's going on, traders? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hope you're doing well. And of course, I hope you had a fantastic week. So today we're going to talk about something that I've been thinking about for a little while. And I think it's really good that we open your eyes to this and give you something to think about as you continue your journey onto becoming a consistent and profitable trader. Now, there's a big misconception in the world that we live in nowadays about psychology and the science behind becoming the best versions of yourself. And what has happened is that it's made it out to believe that unless you are studying psychology or the psychology of trading, then your chances of becoming a consistent and profitable trader are pretty slim. Now, I'm not diminishing this fact, but what I am questioning is the self-doubt this causes many traders to have. And what I mean by this is, if you are not versed in understanding the intricacies of the brain, understanding human nature, and the science behind why we do what we do in terms of our actions, then it can make us feel that we are technically failing ourselves and ultimately, well, constantly living in doubt. Now, my view on what we do as traders is pretty plain and simple, and to a massive degree, pretty logical. So today I'm just going to share with you some insight into some of the things that you can think about and must acquire if you want to become a consistent and profitable trader. And the simplicity that I'm going to share with you today probably going to amaze you. And I really hope that after you've watched this, you're able to utilize more of your energy in focusing on these main points as you continue your journey on the right path. So what really is psychology? Well, in its simplest form, it is the ability to think in the most effective and efficient way possible every day. And that's it. You know, as a mentor and coach, my responsibility has been to help traders like yourself get you to where you are not to where you want to be by focusing on your mental skills and restructuring the old you to becoming the new you. And these things could range from anything like dealing with losses, overcoming FOMO, managing your expectations, taming overconfidence, removing doubt, and understanding, let's say, how to manage your fears. You name it. Now, the challenge is not the simplicity of the approaches to manage the things mentioned above, but it's actually being able to do it on the charts. And this is where the problem lies. It is the trader themselves who need to understand that to action the things taught or learned, they need to understand the power within themselves. And what they have to do is they need to learn to tap into this power and have the confidence to action this on a daily basis with their own personal trading. And if we talk about the power within, we're ultimately talking about the power of will, or free will. And as a trader, you don't have a boss or someone over your shoulders telling you what to do constantly. You know, you don't have a rule book or someone to help you or slap you on the wrist, should I say, when you do something wrong. And this is the distinction between a contract that you're obliged to abide by and the free will you have as a trader to do what you want when you want. And I don't know if you've heard it before, but they say that all great champions find their strength to dream their destinies and to honor their commitments to excellence. And as we know as traders, nothing will expose your character more than trading. So you're either building on it or you're allowing it to reveal who you really are. So half the battle, if not 80–90% of it, is in the trader's mind. But the big question is this: do you really need to understand the science behind everything that goes on in the brain, or is it really much simpler than that? Well, it's quite impossible, to know what every trader is thinking, but it is quite obvious with the surplus of information out there on social media, YouTube, this and that, on different things like entry techniques, trailing stops, best indicators to use, key level trading, fibs, etc., etc. It is without a doubt and hardly questionable that the technical ability of a trader can easily be resolved in a very short space of time. And there's not much you need to dig for because it's all there for the taking. But I will say this: those that are coming into trading and learning the basics, the mental aspect is not nearly as important at this stage. But for those who have been trading for a while and have traded many strategies, have got positive results, and let's say have passed challenges or even got funded, the battle is guaranteed to be mental. And from the mental aspect, it really boils down to a couple of things. And I don't want to take away from those who have medical conditions, but those couple of things are things like confidence and dreaming big. Now, a person that dreams small or has small dreams, or a person without the confidence to pursue his or her dreams, has consigned himself or herself to a life of frustration and mediocrity. And it's that simple. Now, to give you an example, there was a lady, her name was called Pat Bradley, and she was a female golfer. Now, during her career, she won a few amateur tournaments, but what she really lacked was the belief in her ability to actually win. Now, she wasn't a gifted golfer and she didn't attend any colleges where the best women golfers went. But what she was very good at doing was dreaming big. And so much so that it almost seemed real and exciting when she spoke about them. Now, she was a decent player that got better over time, slowly but surely. But what happened was she decided to sit down with a golf coach and she said, I really want to win more. I want to win a major and I want to be the player of the year. And in actual fact, I want to be in the LPGA Hall of Fame. Now, just to put this into perspective for you guys, to get into the Hall of Fame, which is the hardest Hall of Fames to enter, a golfer would need to win 30 tournaments and at least one tournament being a major, which is, of course, the biggest golf tournament that there is. Now, when she was talking with the coach, she was really intense and super excited. And in her head, she was on a mission. You know, she was dreaming big. And that is when things really started to change for her. What happened next? Well, Pat went on to win the tournament she needed to win, which was 31 tour events, and that included 6 majors and became a World Golf Hall of Famer. Now, after Pat had accomplished this, unfortunately or fortunately, I think she accomplished enough as a golfer, we could say that, but she never went on to win anything else again. And she saw the coach and she said to the coach when they met, what's next? To this day, or in that time, Pat was still trying to figure out what her next big dream was to propel her. Now, all traders have dreams, but dreaming big and actually believing, having the confidence to achieve those dreams are two different things. Now, there is not much of a distinction between traders' attitudes and goals. Speak to any trader you like and you almost got near enough the same kind of attitudes and goals to wanting to succeed. But traders who are consistent and profitable do have a distinction. They are strong-willed. They have big dreams, and they all make long-term commitments to pursue those dreams. Now, traders whose attitudes are right and enables them to tap into the higher percentage of a relatively modest store of brain capacity or talent that we have can and will win this mental battle a trader faces on a daily basis. Talent, knowledge, hunger, drive, desire, whatever you want to call it, is nothing without the confidence and belief to dream big and chase those goals. And we live in a world where the majority of people are constantly chastising us that it is almost impossible for a lot of traders to even realize that they have it in them. Now, if you don't have that kind of desire in you because of what is happening around you, then you have to stop and question what is happening. Because a trader should be waking up every single morning excited because you have the opportunity to chase your dreams. And when you go to bed, you should be smiling and proud of yourself, knowing that you've done everything in your power to get you that little closer to where you want to be. And I guess, that's half the reason, if not the whole reason, why you chose trading over all other opportunities out there. So the big question is, how do we fix this? Well, first things first, I can guarantee the majority of you are all great traders. And sometimes you have to accept that or realize that. But the issue you have, though, is not how you feel when you are winning or on a good run, but rather how you perceive your future based on your losses or losing streaks. Basically, what I'm trying to say, it all depends on how your trades play out for the day or week. If they go well, you feel amazing and on top of the world, your dreams are still intact and there is hope for the future. But if they go bad, then boy, oh boy, you start to lose hope and your dreams get shattered. You start to look for new strategies. You scale down to lower time frames to look for quicker entries and bigger targets. And as we know, this is a death trap for traders. If you allow the first set of losing trades to affect you, you're basically, in theory, a puppet to the markets, allowing the immediate results to jerk your strings and dictate how you're going to feel and think. But in order to become a consistent trader, you have to learn to think consistently if you want consistent results. Before every trading session, you have to decide how you're going to think. And this goes to show how important it is to make sure your state of mind is correct no matter what the results are. If you are mentally disciplined every single time you start your session and execute your trades, that attitude itself will always win over ability. And your attitude, self-belief, and motivation will heavily influence the success that you achieve in life. And without confidence, concentration, composure, you're going to lose as a trader. And they say people, by and large, become what they think about themselves. People become what they think about themselves. And if you want to be happy and achieve success, then it is almost all you need to be focusing on. But this raises another big question. Why can traders not trade consistently when it comes to live accounts versus demo accounts? Or why do traders struggle to pass challenges when they can easily pass trials? Well, I'm going to give you an example and give you something to think about, and then you can do the comparisons. Think about a balance beam, okay? If you have a balance beam on the floor, let's say maybe 4 inches off the floor of the ground, and you ask people to walk from one end of the balance beam to the next. Most people do it fairly easy. They'll focus their attention on the far end of the balance beam and their target. And they will confidently walk across it and casually until they reach the end. But now, if we take that same beam and mount it 40 feet in the air with no safety net or rope attached to the person walking across, what happens? Well, physically, the task remains the same, but mentally, it has changed dramatically. And what happens? Well, just by mounting the beam higher in the air, it introduces a strong fear of failure. And this is what happens with traders. They respond by starting to think about mechanical things they didn't worry about when the beam was on the ground, or when they were taking their trial or trading the demo account or their small personal account. And they start to question, well, what if I lose this trade and -1R down on my challenge? What happens if my strategy doesn't work? I won't be able to make money and my hopes of becoming a full-time trader slipping away from me. I executed the trade perfectly, but it didn't win. Is my strategy broken? And all that happens is the trader's goal will become smaller and smaller because of the overthinking. And the trader starts to fear failure, which leads to inconsistency in their decision-making, causing the ripple effect to diminish their full potential. Now, this leads us on to another point about conscious and unconscious trading, but we're going to leave that for another time. But I hope this gives you something to think about as you continue your journey. And I just want to say this to you guys, all right? And I'm honest about this. Part all the other things that I faced in my life, my mum and her condition, my divorce, my court case with my daughter, my own personal trading, running my businesses, now raising my dog, I would say that trading has to be one of the hardest things that I've encountered on my short little life that I've been on this earth. But I will tell you something. It has been the most rewarding thing, and I wouldn't change it for anything, because every day has taught me something new and given me the opportunity to grow as a person, to be able to help others, to be able to lead by example, and ultimately achieve the level of success that I've wanted to achieve. I didn't know I would have what I have now, but I definitely would do it all over again for half what I have now because of who I've become. And I just want to say to you, you have to find your motivation. Stop overcomplicating things and thinking about the science of this and the science of that. Ultimately, traders, it really boils down to you being patient, disciplined, consistent, and avoiding doing dumb shit. And I'm going to scream that motto for the rest of my life, because I really do believe that every single one of you got it in you. And I'm not blowing smoke up your asses. There's definitely no need. But if you dreaming big and you really want this, and you keep it super simple and think about some of the things we spoke about today, I can promise you, it may not happen this month, it may not happen next month, and it may not happen this year. But if you're consistent, it is almost guaranteed that you will achieve what it is you're looking for. So stay focused. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button for me. Hey, and if you're old to the channel, hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Turn on notifications for when the next video. And as I always say, traders, continue to trust the process.